What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trank. So today I'm going to be taking this crazy box elder Burl into this awesome live edge dish. It's got space here. You can put your keys or anything on it when you come in the door, and these little shepherd's hook feet. It's a really unique little piece, so let's go ahead and make it. You can see I've got this crazy box elder Burl. This was a cutoff from a larger tree that came down, and I didn't really know what to do with it because it had this really strange shape. It wasn't deep enough to turn into a bowl, and so I had this idea of what if I made sort of a little dish out of it. And I'm not gonna lie, at the end of this project, I don't know if I love it or hate it, but it was something new and it's got a couple cool techniques, so that's what I wanted to cover today. I started off by flattening it on the jointer, and that got me a nice smooth flat face there. From there I took a picture, and I've showed this technique before, but I bring it into Fusion 360 as a canvas. I can then calibrate the image using the ruler that I placed in the picture and set that to 1 inch. That's going to scale it to the exact dimensions of the box elder piece. From there I went ahead and traced the outline basically right before the grain meets the bark there, and I just traced that outline out with some splines. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to make a 3D printed template that allows the bearing of the router bit to ride close to the edge but not blow through the edge. So what you can see here is once I've got it traced out, I just offset that and extrude it. That gives me a really simple template that I can then print out on the printer. And with it printed out there, I go ahead and stick it onto the box elder piece with some tape and some CA glue. This is a common trick to get things on there, quick things like templates and stuff like that. So I just go ahead and use some activator and put that on. Now, I didn't have a really great way to clamp this workpiece while I do the routing, so what I did is I used the clamp you see here, and I actually got that under some holdfast to kind of lock everything down to the workbench, and that held it good enough for the routing. This is a dish carving bit. I'll leave a link to one online where you can check it out. It's actually a really neat router bit. What's cool about it, it gives you a nice flat bottom with rounded edges around the profile that you're routing against the bearing. And what I really like about it is that it's a really not aggressive bit. It looks big and like it would be a tough bit that you have to do really small passes in, but it's actually the opposite. You can do pretty deep passes with this and have no problems at all. It's a bit that I really enjoy using, and you can do it for all sorts of different dish and little trays and things like that. So check it out if you want. I'll leave a link in the description. Now, as you can see with the routing done, I didn't actually go very deep here. The reason is that it would have blown out the sides, but with the routing done, let's see what I do for the legs. So now that we've got the inside kind of hollowed out here, we can see that, of course, this doesn't sit flat at all on the surface, and so I think I came up with a good idea to solve this. What I've got here is some tiny little threaded inserts here. These are little wood inserts, and I got small ones because I don't want this to make a huge profile, but what I'm going to do here is pick 3 points to put these 3 threaded inserts for leveling feet. And then what I've got here is some hardware here that has a aluminum piece that can slide over it. So this will make nice little legs, and if you can imagine those coming out. And then what I've got here is just different length bolts, and what I can do is cut these to size until this sits nice and flat, and we'll have some nice decorative little feet. And yeah, I think it's gonna look good, and I think it's gonna be pretty easy to do. So let's go ahead and drill these and get the inserts in. Alright, so I just put in these 3 legs, and I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I like how it sits flat and everything, but I'm not loving how these silver legs look. They look too stationary, and I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it looks off. However, what I found laying around that I had just gotten for a different project was this hook for a tree. And I looked at this and I thought, what if instead of those metal legs, it was sort of the tip of this guy curved down, making a nice foot. And I really think that this will actually look better if I trim it, right about here. And then I can just drill out these holes a little bit more and have these nice curved feet. So I think I'm gonna do that. I just don't love how this looks, so I'm gonna go to the hardware store, buy a couple more of these, and we'll go ahead and try it out. I can already tell at a glance I'm liking this quite a bit better. It just looks a little more modern, but yeah, this is kind of an experimental project, so we'll see. Kind of interesting. So it was definitely worth it changing the legs. These are just, I don't know, something about them, it's just more modern looking and it's just better looking in general. So yeah, I'm glad I made the switch. Pretty simple. All I'm gonna do now is put a little butcher block oil on for the finish. This will just soak in. This is kind of green wood anyway, so it's gonna be moving and warping a little bit with time, but just gonna throw some oil in and call it a done project. And I'm just gonna let this soak here, move it around a little bit, and then let it soak, and come back in about 10 minutes, and I'll just wipe off the excess, and that'll be it for this one. All right, guys, did you love it or hate it? Let me know in the comments, but let's take a look at some final shots.